completed driving school. I improved physically and mentally, learned discipline and patience, and completed over 40 hours of service to the community. I ranked to private first class, ranked to corporal, received a Cadet of the Week award, and a Life Coping Skills award. The biggest accomplishment of them all is that I'm graduating. I wanted to share my story with you today to show that there are ways out of your circumstances, no matter how big of a hole that you're in. Everyone has a story. We all have something we wish we could change or forget about, and I'm no different. As a child, my dad was in and out of jail, so he was barely ever around. I didn't have the father figure I needed, and anyone who tried to fill that void, I pushed away because I wanted it to be him instead. He sold drugs and even took me with him on his deals. Because of his actions, one night, the SWAT team busted into my grandmother's house and searched for the drugs he was hiding. At 4 years old, with several guns in my face, I was petrified. I went into a moment where noise became faint and I couldn't move. I thank God for that moment, because if I had acted crazy, I probably wouldn't be standing before you today. Even after this event, my father continued to do the same thing over and over, without regard for his family. A lot of the things he did and the choices he made affected me. My mother was always doing drugs and drinking, so we didn't talk much. She didn't pay too much attention to me or my sister. I felt neglected and unimportant. I stayed out of the way because I felt like my presence annoyed her. I longed for a relationship with both of my parents, but it seemed as though I was unwanted. I had to learn things and grow quickly and look out for my little sister, as I felt responsible for her. Around the same time, I began getting molested by 2 of my cousins. At first it was little things, and then over the years it became much worse. Night after night, getting woken up out of my sleep and dragged into rooms. One would beat me up if I told or didn't do what was wanted. I dreaded the night, and it was constant torture for me. I was exposed to entirely too much at a young age. I bottled it all up and acted as if nothing was happening. I became an angry child, and in the 4th grade, I started picking fights. I used fighting as a way to release anger. The tiniest things had my blood boiling, and that got me in a lot of trouble. It continued in middle school, and my grades began to slip. I didn't care about anything or anyone, not even myself. As I got older, I let my past eat me up. I became more and more disgusted with myself. I hated to look in the mirror. Every day I told myself I looked ugly. I hid my insecurities behind arrogance and disrespect. I started to snap at everyone around me, especially my mother. At the age of 14, I felt I needed someone to tell me I was pretty and make me feel special. So I got involved with boys to get what I thought was happiness. I never wanted to admit it to myself, but I tried hard to look happy when on the inside I was broken. When I got to high school, I didn't take it seriously. I didn't do any work, disrespected teachers, fought in and after school, walked the halls, and disrupted classes. I felt like I was wasting my time, so I found ways to stop going. I was purposely oversleeping and moving slow so that I could miss half the day. Eventually, I stopped going altogether to be with a boy who didn't really care. My mom told me about a program called the Freestate Academy. She told me I needed to go there because I wouldn't act right. I looked at Freestate like a jail, so I fed my mom lies and told her I would change and do better, knowing I had no intentions to do so. After a while, I became depressed. I stayed in my room, cried every night, started eating more, skipped school. I was mad all the time, and I got lazy and watched everything around me crumble. I then became suicidal. I would sit around my room looking for ways I could successfully take my own life. I never told anyone what I was going through. All I'd ever known how to do was keep it inside and put a smile on my face, and I was mentally drained. I looked towards drugs and boys for momentary happiness. I knew where I was headed, and I didn't even care. One night, I was high and overthinking. I just kept asking myself, why? Why are you here? What are you doing? Why did you let yourself come to this? All these questions I couldn't answer. I sat there crying, letting out all the emotion I held in. I was tired of being fake happy and lying to myself. Everything started to replay in my head, and the last thing I said to myself before I fell asleep was I need to go to Freestate. We went through a lot to get me into the Freestate Academy, but God made a way, and it truly saved my life.
Amen.
To my mother, can you please stand? I'm so proud of you. I watched you turn your whole life around, and it is amazing who you have become. I wouldn't trade you for anything, and I'm so glad God gave me you. I truly forgive you for it all, and I don't blame you for what happened, because I know you didn't know. We can't change the past, we can only work towards the future. I'm sorry for all the mean things I ever said to you. I'm sorry for every tear that ran down your face because of me, for every fight and argument, for all the lies I told you, for every disappointment, and I'm sorry for all the disrespect I had towards you. I will never hurt you again, and I love you so much. You are beautiful, and you are everything to me. You may be seated.